Okay, all right, talk number two. First, I got some business to settle, so I grabbed a whiskey I haven't had before. This one is Matsui. It's a Japan-made whiskey. So Matsui, they make good baseball players. I haven't heard of any whiskeys they've made so far, but maybe it's a good one. All Japanese ones so far have been pretty good to me. Looks not bad. Actually, it looks a bit like the Suntory bottle that I've had before, but let's try it out. It says it's supposed to be smooth. I'll believe that. It's about 30 something bucks. Should be all right. It's a screw cap. It's not a cork. Can't win them all. There we go. Let's try that out. Ooh. Oh, smokier than I thought. Let's try that out. And I've got and this is just a blend. It's a blend, right? Nothing fancy. And I've got myself a Nub Cameroon. They're like $3 a piece or something, so fits in my budget. Let's go with that. All right, so tonight's theme number two. So I thought I'd get a few themes out of the way that I find like central life themes, central life motifs, symbols, currencies, recurring themes. And this one is actually, it's a business theme that applies to life. Buyer's remorse. And I never knew wow, that is really lively. It's like nothing I've ever had, actually. Wow, I don't even have the words to describe that. I'm not a sophisticated man. Buyer's remorse. So, I'll tell it through a story. And I'm not saying I know a lot about these things. I'm just talking about my experience, right? So, I was in California in the 1990s. You know, I'd already worked at Pepsi, but I'd never have any like formal like business or sales training. Actually, muddled my way through it just with my natural charm, as you can imagine. So I'm in California, and terrible job market, 9% unemployment, Teledyne, Hughes, right? The whole defense industry had fallen through, and they'd all moved to Arizona is where they moved to. And 9% unemployment, something like that. Very hard to find jobs. So finally, I was working at a Lexus dealership selling cars after I was selling cars at Saturn, right? Which is a very interesting experience. TQM, it was very, very interesting. So working at Lexus, and I hope I'm not giving away any trade secrets here. So there was this couple who had visited me like a handful of times. Really nice folks. Those are the folks I attracted. You know, nice guy, nice folks. You know, I'm not twisting folks around at all. I'm the nice guy. You know, they can come to, get a straight deal, not be twisted around, right? And they were looking to buy. I think back then it was called an LS 300 or something like that. So sticker, it's a $40,000 car, right? And I know from my experience, whether at the end of the month or a particularly savvy customer or a color that was crap or an option package that wasn't desirable, we would sell a car at the lowest price, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 above dealer cost. You know, maybe $32,000, $33,000, right? Depending on what was going on. That was like the lowest, right? So this couple, they come in finally. It's the day to pull the trigger. They come in. They say, "Jim, time to buy that car." I go to my booth, take them there, and they make an offer. They say, "All right, Jim, listen. we're not wheeler dealers, and we don't want this long drawn out process of back and forth. We just want to make a reasonable offer, walk out of here with the car. And I was like, cool. Happens to be how I am as well. So they come in and they make an offer like 36, something like that, 36,000, right? So well above the minimum I've seen, and right in the ballpark of lots of deals I've seen made. So I was like, 4,000 below sticker. And I was like, all right, let me, I have to play the game. I have to go talk to my salesman. Let me talk to my sales manager. You guys hang out, all right? Sitting there, go to talk to sales manager. I'm walking over there like already congratulating myself. Say to salesman, I forget his name. I said, dude, all right, I got an offer on this car. These folks I told you about, 36. And they said, they don't want the back and forth. They're not the kind of folks who want to grind it out for every last penny, every last option. Maybe we could wrap this one up kind of quickly. What do you think he said? I'll drink this while you're thinking. Well, the better business people out there, the better ones than me, know the answer that I didn't know then. I thought that was a, done deal. No, he said, all right, go back. He was Italian, scratchy throat guy. Go back, tell him 37.5. I forget what it was. 38. Go back, tell him 38. And it's like, fucking seriously, man, really? I was like, all right. I was like, oh, I felt so bad, because I'm the nice guy. They don't want to grind. I went back and said, oh, man, you guys aren't going to believe. How am I going to? You're so close, And I told them, and they were a little bummed. So, so they ended up doing the back and forth thing that they never thought that they wanted to do. And they ended up grinding it out. I don't remember. Maybe it finished around 37. I really don't recall. But later on, I was talking to that sales manager, and he said, listen, you think that I was doing that for us, the business, which I was. He said, but actually, I'm doing that for your customer, right? And he told me the story, buyer's remorse. Maybe I'd never heard it before, or maybe I'd never heard it that well. And, that value of fighting for something. And in the decades since then, buyer's remorse has become an incredibly powerful force of life that I've seen. It applies to all things. Boyfriends, girlfriends, right? I don't know. Think back to your single days. Maybe some of you are single, right? You smoking hot guy, smoking hot girl. In my case, it would have been a girl. She's really smoking hot. You ask her out. You're getting up your guts, and you say, "Hey, would you like to some?" She's like, "Oh yeah, sure." No back and forth. No like, well, I don't know. And then suddenly, I don't know about you, but for me, I would have been in that situation. I would have been thinking, "Oh, wow, maybe she's not so cool." I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you've experienced that. Maybe not. Here's another example. So in this country, right, Japan, entrance exams. So all high schools and universities, and even some junior high schools, have entrance exams, right? And there's this battle of competition to get into universities, high schools, and junior high schools, and the students expect it. And if they don't get that struggle, right, then they feel like they haven't achieved something worth achieving, right, because they haven't fought for it. So even low-level, undesirable high schools, like one that I worked at, it was an all-girls Buddhist high school I worked at in Osaka. And, after the boom times, they were, on the downslide of student numbers, like all of the industrialized world is experiencing, the slide of high school graduates, or junior high school graduates as it was in those days. And actually, they could not afford to turn away one student, no matter how talented or untalented. And yet, they had an entrance exam. In fact, they had, on the night before an entrance exam, they had a guard in the office in front of their safe guarding the entrance exams that everyone passes. Think about that. So, making the theater to avoid buyer's remorse. Everybody feels like, yeah, I think I got that test. I don't know. I'm going to go home and wait for that word. I think I might have gotten it. It was a hard test, though. And everybody gets the call. Interesting, right? So, I've seen it in life in many, many different ways, and now I implement it, right? If someone doesn't fight for that thing, whether it's a scuba certification, a promotion, whatever it is, you know, someone's got to fight for it a little bit. Otherwise, they themselves are going to devalue that thing, and that's just a fact of life as I've seen it. And I've seen it in many different ways. So, and again, I'm not saying I'm a smart guy. I learned it pretty late in life. I think I was almost 30, so not like I was a genius or anything. I was just trying to keep my eyes open and pass it on. But probably if you're my age, most of you have learned that a long time ago. Anyway, an interesting fact. Maybe it helps you, maybe not. Catch you later.